In a small village in Africa, there lived a boy named Kofi. Kofi loved his village, with its green fields, tall trees, and the river that flowed nearby. But Kofi had a dream. He wanted to go to the city. He had heard many stories about the city. People said the buildings were as tall as the sky, and the streets were full of cars. Kofi imagined bright lights, busy markets, and many people wearing fine clothes. Every night, he dreamt of the city. But there was a problem. Kofi did not have any money to go to the city. His family was poor. They worked hard on their farm, growing maize and beans. Kofi helped his father plant seeds and water the crops. But they only had enough to eat, with nothing left to save. One day, Kofi decided he must find a way to make money. He thought and thought. Finally, he had an idea. He would go to the river and catch fish. He could sell the fish in the market. So every morning, Kofi woke up early and went to the river. He threw his net into the water and waited. Sometimes he caught many fish, and other times, only a few. But he did not give up. With the fish he caught, Kofi went to the village market. He sat on the ground, with his fish laid out in front of him. People came and bought his fish. Slowly, Kofi began to save some money. He kept his coins in a small clay pot under his bed. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Kofi worked hard every day. He was tired, but he kept thinking of the city. He imagined walking on the busy streets and seeing the tall buildings. This dream gave him strength. One day, Kofi met an old man in the market. The old man had a long beard and kind eyes. He saw Kofi's fish and said, "These are good fish. You are a hard worker, Kofi." Kofi smiled and said, "Thank you, but I have a dream. I want to go to the city." The old man nodded and said, "The city is big and full of life, but it is not easy. You must be strong." Kofi listened to the old man's words. He knew the city would be different from his village. But his dream was strong, and he was ready to face any challenge. After many months of hard work, Kofi finally saved enough money. He was so happy. He hugged his mother and father. He said goodbye to his friends. With his small bag, he walked to the road that led to the city. The journey was long. Kofi walked for days. He crossed rivers, climbed hills, and passed many villages. But he did not stop. He kept going, one step at a time. His feet were sore, but his heart was full of hope. Finally, Kofi saw the city in the distance. The buildings were tall, just like he had imagined. The streets were busy, with people and cars everywhere. Kofi felt a mix of fear and excitement. He had made it. In the city, Kofi found a small room to live in. He got a job in a shop, selling fruits and vegetables. He worked hard, just like he did in the village. The city was not easy. It was noisy and busy, but Kofi was happy. He was living his dream. Every night, Kofi looked out of his window at the city lights. He remembered his village, the green fields, and the river. He knew he would go back one day to see his family and friends. But for now, he was in the city, living the life he had always dreamt of. And so, Kofi's journey taught him that dreams could come true, but they needed hard work and patience. The city was a new world, full of challenges, but also full of possibilities. Kofi's story spread, and many in the village were inspired by his courage and determination. They learned that no dream was too big, and no journey was too long as the heart was strong.